As aspiring scholars and statistics students, we set out to get to know our learning environment. So we named the topic of our study BCS, which stands for Broward College Students. We asked few questions dealing with their experience as students, generally their outlook on certain issues and decisions we all face as humans. It was very fun and entertaining breaking the ice of our student peers and also very informative.
A parameter study would assume the entire population of students at Broward College South Campus. However, our study was based on a statistical analysis of a subset of the parameter.
Categorical data is one of the types of data we dealt with in our survey. It helped us lead to more closed-ended questions to help better organize our data. Quantitative data is another kind of data that we used in our survey. This kind of data led to more numerical values, which helped open up a wider range of responses from the students we surveyed.
We split the school into 3 buildings and sent 2 people out to each building, and there they picked a couple of students each and interviewed them. And the data source we collected was BC students that we reviewed. Our sampling strategy was we stratified the school into buildings and we surveyed a couple people from each building. We also took steps to avoid bias. We tried not to change their answers, and we tried not to look too mean or aggressive so they would be more comfortable and answer more honestly.
The steps that we took in order to analyze our data included identifying our variables, creating frequency tables and histograms, analyzing the 5-number summaries, searching for any outliers, and trying to find correlations. We predicted that the students who believed in same-sex marriage would be more likely to be open to marrying someone of a different race. However, about 19% of the students who believed in same-sex marriage would not marry someone outside of their race. We also predicted that religious beliefs might have a factor in views about marriage. This was proven when 80% of the students who didn't believe in same-sex marriage also believed that religion is extremely important.
Of the sample we surveyed, 41% have cheated, while 59% have never cheated. Given that the mean and the median are equal, the data is symmetrical. 74.1% of the students said they have never smoked a cigarette or a cigar. 25.9% of the students say they have smoked a cigarette or a cigar before.
Most definitely, I learned that there has to be different approaches for different individuals. If you want them to be responsive, being polite, humble, and highly energetic are a few characteristics that aids in breaking down the defense mechanisms that the average antisocial may have. From this study, we personally have realized how students have a high capacity to be empathetic to other students, because even when their body language translated that they were reluctant to participate in the survey, upon mentioning that it was a class project, they were more enthusiastic. Even some didn't mind being late. Their efforts will not go in vain. We are grateful.
The results were biased because the survey was voluntary and anonymous. Taking into the account the questions about eminence in a standard bag, our minimum was 5, while the maximum was 200. Most of the correspondents just threw out the number. As you can see, we had the same outcome for.
What we learned about our research variable is that people with certain attributes answer other questions differently. For example, people that are more religious are less likely to agree with same-sex marriage.
What I learned from the project about our population is that 85% of our population would marry someone of a different race. This goes to show that the interracial problems going on in our country have still not affected the warm hearts of the Broward College students.
Statistically, we learned that the mean GPA of Broward College South Campus is 3.1. We also learned that the average Broward student works about 24 hours a week. Overall, our statistical data would not be valid because of our small sample size and large chances of bias.
We got the collection, organization, analyzation, and the interpretation of information to make accurate decisions without contemplation, because there's a great chance of error with guesstimation and estimation. So we started by using Broward students as our population and stratified the campus and treated the buildings as different stations.
Created using Powtoon.